Hello and welcome back to the Bookshelf Odyssey. My name is Art, and today I'm playing part 2 of my interview with Stefanie Santone. She is the author of the Goddesses Inc. Mystery series, a kind of urban fantasy type story. As you might have been able to tell from the first part of the episode, we talked about everything under the sun before we actually got to the topic I wanted to talk about with her, which was mental health and how that impacts creativity. And so that's where we'll pick up kind of mid-conversation in this episode and get back to a really incredible discussion. So thanks for tuning in for part 2. I really appreciate it. And after the interview is done, I'll have a few things to wrap up. Well, another hard pivot here. I do want to make sure we have time to talk about mental health in the creative field and some of the challenges you've gone through, because I know, and you probably know, your story is not unusual, that there are people, a lot of people who are struggling with their mental health. For myself, about, how long ago was it now? About 4 or 5 years ago, I started having what I thought was a heart attack or symptoms, or not so much a heart attack, just heart trouble. The doctor gave me all kinds of tests. You know, my dad had heart trouble, so I was kind of already aware of that, but couldn't find anything wrong with me.
You were bracing for.
Yeah. And so he finally asked if I had a lot of stress in my life, which I must have had a maniacal laughter after that, you know, because I did. And
Yeah.
He helped me figure out that what I was having was panic attacks, essentially. And so then I got diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder, and then depression as well. And it was affecting my creativity. There were things I loved doing, like painting, even at times with podcasting, which I love, and I'm so glad I do this. But there are periods where I just can't. And I can't really explain it. Finding that help was so good, and I'm glad I basically went to the doctor and said, something's not right. I need help, and I don't know what it is. He gave me one of those anxiety tests to take, and I joked because I
off the
scored.
charts?
Yes, well, not off the charts, but he said, "Oh, I've seen worse, but it's pretty bad, At least you're somewhat functional." Like, okay, thanks. But yeah,
Pete.
Yeah,
Right?
That's going to be my bio tagline now. I'm somewhat functional.
Functional.
But not. And maybe you've experienced this too, but there can be a lot of baggage attached to mental health, and people aren't always as comfortable talking about it, or they feel ashamed by it, that I'm not okay.
Yeah, a lot of people feel that way, unfortunately. I felt so ashamed of my mental health struggles that I didn't get help.
Mm-hmm.
And by not getting help, I ended up at a mental health hospital with the police basically escorting me because I had to call 911. And I got the help I needed at that time, but it was a good year of struggle that I was not open about, and about how much things were affecting. And it was so bad that I ended up being, it was 2009, and I ended up being put on disability. It was the hardest thing of my life. And to this day, I still look back on that and go, I don't know how I got through that, except I had some awesome people next to me, because I don't feel like I could have done that on my own. But I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder and general anxiety disorder. So thanksies. General anxiety disorder back in 2009, 2010. They were, and unlike what people think with bipolar disorder, they think that it's that you're constantly going, oh, I'm always up, or I'm always down, or I'm down, then I'm up. But that's not how it is. It is very different for each person, but you're generally going to go through your ups and downs in phases that can last weeks or months or years.
Mm-hmm.
So just because you're having a down point right now, well, in a couple weeks, you're probably going to even back out and be perfectly normal. Or maybe you'll go into what they call the manic phase, and there's no real telling what is going to happen next. I think for many people who don't live through it or who do even live through it, that's probably the scariest thing is that you don't know when your mood's going to change. And as someone living with depression, I think that that's probably something similar, right? You just
Mm-hmm.
don't know when that depression's going to hit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
There were, and I'm doing better now.
I'm
Um,
glad to hear that a lot. I'm really,
one of the reasons we changed, jobs and things is the job I had. It was just so stressful. I was so burned out. I,
mhm,
I, I was struggling to even decide what I wanted to eat for lunch,
mhm.
short
Oh,
of
yeah.
everything in the fridge,
Yeah.
and
It's either nothing or everything.
right. Yeah.
Those are your extremes, and that's where you stay.
I'm like, I need to get into a better place, and we did, doors open just to get us to a better place, a better situation. I'm in a place where I love my job, again partly because I get to listen to audiobooks for like 6 hours while I vacuum. I mean, that's
Not
but
the worst thing in the world.
no, but stories for me have always been a way to help with my mental health. I can look back now over my life, and as a teenager, pretty rough life growing up, and I had divorced parents and all that, and the library was a refuge for me. It was not just a place of safety, but of stories and books, and there were librarians there who got to know me, and recommend books to
Mhm.
me and all that, and um,
Yeah, I had that
I,
too. Or
yeah.
at least when I was younger, when I was older. Uh, that's when my parents got divorced. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Um, yeah. So does your, how, how do I want to put this question? With your mental health, what kind of challenges do you face as being somebody who's creative, and what are some for others who might be struggling with the same things, and they might want to write or be creative, but they're worried about that? What have you found to help?
that's the thing is what helps will always change.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, what helps is me sitting down, not having a lot of distractions, being able to maybe set a timer, things like that that are like, okay, when it's quiet and then I know that I can concentrate, that helps. But a couple of years ago, I didn't have to worry about a couple of years ago, it was fine for me to be writing out where everyone was with all the noise and whatnot. So it is one of those things that things change, and you need to listen to yourself on that because it's going to. No matter if you have perfect mental health or not, something's going to change at some point, or that you're going to need to pivot and do something different. And it's the same with
Mm-hmm.
your mental health. And for me, writing has been a refuge since I was like 13, 15 years old. So for me, when it hits that I can't write, because that hits, and it just where you just sit and you're like, huh, this is a pretty cool thing that I've got in my head, but there's nothing. I can't put a darn word on the page. I can't do anything like that because, and when those days happen, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
weeks. What you got to do is you've got to lean into your other things. If you paint or you do any other type of artistic thing, you got to lean into something like that. I find just to kind of have an outlet. Or if you just read then just do that.
Mm-hmm.
Never beat yourself up is one of the things that I've learned to do. You can
Mm.
never beat yourself up, or you shouldn't.
Right.
Shouldn't.
Right.
You should not beat yourself up for having a bad mental health day or even a bad physical health day. These things happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that I've had to accept is that this isn't something that anyone did to me or that I did to myself. this is something that that has a biological component for me of up to 80%, they found. So with the bipolar disorder, there was no running from it, more than one.
Yeah, yeah, and that's from what I know that's a pretty serious diagnosis that you don't want to ignore.
No, don't ignore it.
Yeah.
If you think you have depression or you feel like you're just kind of out of whack for more than a couple of weeks at a time, I always recommend people go to their doctor. Not necessarily a psychiatrist if this never happened before, but always go to your doctor and get checked, because mood changes they can be something that besides a mental health problem, they can also be physical health problems. So it's definitely something you should always get checked with your doctor when you have those kinds of changes.
Right. And that's where I really appreciate my doctor, because he gave me a lot of tests, heart tests and blood tests and, all these questions he went through. And, and he finally figured out kind of what was going on, and then has been able to, follow up with me on that and, make sure I'm doing okay, and recommend, therapists if you need it, all that kind of stuff. It's been good. But, and again, I'm not a doctor or a professional or anything, so take my advice for what it's worth. But it can't.
We are not doctors.
Right.
Please see a doctor if you need to.
Yeah. I have found, even just taking some medicine isn't always enough. You need things like, exercise and good diet, and these things affect that. But, maybe you have to change a job. Maybe you don't have the luxury of being able to do that. But there are ways to help. And I've had to tell myself this, that it's okay to not be okay.
It's okay to not be okay. I think you should. That's a very good thing to tell yourself, because no one's perfect. No one's going to have 100% happy-go-lucky all the time joy. It's just not how life works. If nothing else, we have things in our life where people leave, or or there's so much that can happen in life, and you're just not always happy, and that's okay. Even if you don't have a mental illness, it's okay to not be okay.
'Cause I've got family with a variety of physical issues. Some days they're just knocked out, and hey, today's the day I'm going to lay down.
Yes, it's true. I mean, I also have fibromyalgia and a couple of other fun things that just make me very tired, or make my brain just go, "Hey, I was doing something, wasn't I?" And then I just say, "No, I wasn't," and walk away from whatever I was doing. It happens.
Yeah, it does. It does. I guess the point I want to bring here is, don't let those things stop you from being creative, from telling your story.
No, because I think that even when you have your low energy days, even when you have the days where you can't pick up the pen or go to your computer and you want to write, you can still tell yourself your story. You can still write. This is how we write. It just, writing it down is a different medium. I tell myself my story, what I want to do next, what I think I should have done in the scene I just got through with. It doesn't require anything but laying in bed. And some days that's what I do.
I forget let's see if I've got her book over here. Oh yeah, Laura Hillenbrand. She wrote Seabiscuit and Unbroken.
Okay, I'm saying that, like, I know the name, and it's just okay.
Yeah, I don't remember what illness she has, but I remember reading about her, and that I think it's something to do with her perception, and maybe she gets like super dizzy or something. I'm not sure. So, but I remember her saying that there are times where she has to write with like her eyes closed, and she's writing on the keyboard, because of whatever it is she's struggling with.
That's really cool.
She has to do that, and it does
It's a
affect.
really cool. That's the word I'm looking for. Darn, I'm losing words, but I'm just saying it's a
No,
really cool way of doing something, of going around
right?
what your disability.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I think her book Unbroken is one of the best nonfiction books I've ever read.
Yeah.
It's about a World War II pilot. For those who don't know, he was in a bomber that crashed in the ocean. He was captured in a Japanese prisoner of war. Powerful story of what he went through and redemption that he found because he came back from the war just broken and had they didn't know about PTSD at the time, but he dealt with
Yeah.
all that and it's an incredible story. I think there was a movie about it a couple years ago. It was Angelina Jolie directed it, which I thought was odd, but she did pretty good with it.
I remember when she directed that movie.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't remember what movie it was, but it's like, oh yeah, she did do that.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
okay, now I'm on the same page as you with that.
okay, yeah,
For what the
yeah,
story is, I'm like, okay,
yeah, yeah. But yeah, she hasn't let those challenges stop her. She's found ways around to be creative, and I wasn't so
well,
interested in her first book, but it's about racehorses and stuff, and I don't know. But my wife read it and she said, "I have no interest in this topic, but she made it so engaging and so good." It was just an incredible story. Although I did enjoy the movie.
that's a good
Uh,
writer.
yeah, yeah. Um, so again, we want to encourage the audience to be creative. Tell stories, read stories,
Yeah.
even through the hard times, because I think in the end it's stories that help save us, that help give us guidance through those hard times.
Stories entertain, but they also give guidance, like you said. They can
Hmm.
be parables, or they can be fairy tales. In any way we tell a story, we're conveying information of some sort, or we're
Hmm.
conveying something as simple as a pat on the head that says, "Yeah, everything's okay right now. Good."
Hmm. Yeah. One of my favorite characters in literature is from Lord of the Rings. If you're familiar, oh yeah, yeah, Samwise
Little bit of
Gamgee.
it.
Yeah, I love
Oh,
Sam.
Sam, my heart
Yes,
loves Sam.
um,
He's so brave.
yeah. I love the Peter Jackson movies. Don't come at me, haters, but I love the movies. I love that character. And I think I've been thinking about his um, statement a lot lately about how there's still good in this world and it's worth fighting for. Um, it's been a while since I've read the books, so if that's only in the movies, I'm sorry, but I think it's in the books as well. Um,
I think so.
but anyway,
It's been a
it's
while for me
such
too. I'll
yeah, it's such a powerful moment in at least in the films, and I know it is the books too, but I'm feeling visual today. Um, and Sean Astin was such a perfect cast for that role, and but I was going somewhere with
so
that.
good. I mean, just in general with
Yeah.
everyone in the movie, I will still gush about how everything seemed perfect,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll smack myself a little here still, but actually the day the book released, Fatal Magic, that was the day of Phoenix Fan Fusion. I live in Arizona, and they had all four hobbits at Phoenix Fan Fusion, the Comic Con that we do here. Apparently, that's the first time they've reunited since the movie,
Oh.
and I'm like, and I had to miss that.
Oh no. That would have been amazing.
Would have been
Um.
so amazing to go see. But I had friends who did, and they loved the panel that they did. They were all very
Hmm.
charming, which I mean, they probably all were. So
Yeah.
it was. I just would just throwing that out there. I would have loved to do that because I love Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Hmm. This is going to get me in trouble because I don't remember if it was Tolkien or C.S. Lewis who said this, but um, that fairy tales teach us about dragons, or and that dragons can be defeated. I really butchered that quote.
No, but I know the gist of it too.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one of them said it, but wouldn't be surprised if it was either one for me.
Right.
I
You're
could
right.
see
Yeah.
C.S. Lewis or Tolkien saying that.
I really think it was Tolkien. Yeah. But I love that because, again, Sam's speech it inspires me, and scenes in that film I find to be incredibly stirring. I mean, even the Wonder Woman film that came out with Gal Gadot in it as Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I love that movie, and when she climbs
I love
up
that movie. That was so good.
to go across no man's land, and just that dramatic shot of her going up the stairs, and like, yeah,
Get upstairs, dropping the shield is there, the lasso is there, and you're just like, this is Wonder Woman. She's gonna go kick them.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, I draw inspiration from that. As weird as it sounds, it's.
Oh, it's not weird. I don't think. I think that's what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
I think that these are types of scenes and little things that are, especially Sam's speech. They're supposed to give us that kind of hope.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember watching my daughter getting on the school bus when she was in third grade. And I watched her going up those stairs of the school bus, just as brave as you can imagine, and I was picturing Wonder Woman again, just going up the ladder, off into no man's land. And
that's perfect. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm a geek. What can I say? Or a nerd? I don't know what the difference is.
But I claim both of them just to make people happy and unhappy.
There you go. I like it. that'll do nicely.
Or make it people as happy as anything. I can't make people happy. It appears, just by saying I have bipolar disorder, I've already turned off a whole bunch of people. Just saying that out loud, it's like, oh wow, crazy.
Yeah.
Not really, but I know I can't change everyone's mind.
Mm-hmm. Right. And it comes down to embracing who you are and just being okay with that. Giving, as my wife always tells me,
when you need a help up.
Yeah. My wife has been telling me this lately because earlier this year I just really struggled with mental health, and she said, show yourself some grace. Just be kind to yourself. Like, yeah, okay. I'll get it all the time. Yeah. I'm my own worst critic sometimes, but
we are. I really think we are sort of having a really narcissistic parent on your shoulder. We're our worst critic.
I might be my own best critic too. Like, of course I can do everything. I'm wonderful. It swings back and forth. I don't know.
And that's where the other parent is, or angel and demon in this case, I guess we're going to go with.
That's right. I had mentioned that, or you had told me that you were, another name you go by is the Mindful Scribe. Could you tell us about that? How did you come up with, or how did that name get applied to you?
It's double. I gave it to myself, but it was reinforced, and I was told to use it and not use it sarcastically. But I was doing mindfulness is considered a skill that is really important for some people. I found that it helps me stop and listen to my anxiety, and it helps me stop and listen to when I'm being my worst enemy and things like that, so that I can say, hey, is that really true? And other things. So I became really into it. I really wanted to understand mindfulness, understand sitting with the breath and sitting with your uncomfortable feelings. And the therapist who was teaching it to me at the time, was joking that I was making it my whole thing. And I'm like, yeah, I'm the mindful. And he started laughing and goes, no, you got to do something with that now. That was many years ago. That was pre-pandemic, actually. And we are, and I'm now doing something with it. So hey, if you're out there, hope you know it, Brett.
Yeah.
It was,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that's so neat. It's like, I don't want to say celebrating your, because it's not celebrating your flaws. It's
Embracing them though. I definitely flawed. I'm a flawed
mhm,
human being who is sometimes selfish and sometimes petty because we're human. Everybody's a little selfish every now and then.
mhm.
Who hasn't been petty? Maybe the Pope. But
Right.
besides that, it's like, so if you don't, you can embrace your flaws while still working, while still being like, I'm going to try not to be selfish. Oh, I did that again. Let me pull back. And just realizing that no one is perfect, least of all you, yourself. It's like, at least that's what I found out with myself.
Well said. Yeah. Um, so yeah, embrace who you are. We're all
Always.
uniquely different. Um, I look
And it's
at
beautiful.
it is. I come from an age where, and a background where that didn't like diversity. I'll just put it that way. If everyone were the same, how boring it would be,
Oh,
Um,
we'd all be wearing the same clothes. No one would dye their hair, or
right.
maybe no one would have facial hair, for example. And, there's so
Hmm.
many little things that we use to express ourselves that make us different. It's like, but our
Hmm.
attributes and flaws do the same thing too.
Hmm. I even look at my own kids. I've got three, two boys and a girl. My wife and I, they come from both my wife and I, and yet each one is so different from each other. It's
Mhm.
it's really funny. There are some similarities, but there's a lot of differences, and that's great. We've been encouraging them, and they've encouraged me even to do that same thing, to embrace the oddities. That the things I enjoy that others might find weird. My daughter will say, oh, you don't
Some of the
just
things that we find weird, yeah, others enjoy.
yeah, yeah,
Fly
yeah.
fishing, someone enjoys that.
Right, right. Um, yeah. So yeah, it's been the last couple of years, a lot of changes in how I see myself, but it's been good, and I'm grateful I got the help I needed to do that. And I know there's
Too.
those who
I'm
have
glad.
harder journeys than I've had, and others that haven't had it as hard as I've had it. My story's not unique on one hand, but it's unique to me.
It is at the same time. Yeah,
And,
because
yeah.
your life experiences are going to color uh, your perception of depression. Sorry, I usually wear
Hmm.
glasses
Oh.
to adjust them. It's going to color your ideas of depression, anxiety, and how you should deal with it, even.
Hmm.
And it's yeah, I'm with you there on the if we were all the same, it would just be so boring, no fun, and I'd much rather nurtured. I've got two nieces and two nephews, and I'd much rather nurture them to be as weird and outside of the box as possible to just be different.
Hmm. Yeah, it's really it's the best thing, just to know who you are and embrace that. Yeah, I love it. Or I'm learning to love it, I guess. Oh, because I still have a way to go, I think, but don't we all?
I think everyone has a journey, and we're
Yep.
all on it. If you're, as long as you're still moving, even if you take that one step forward, two steps back, or two steps forward, one step back approach, whichever way you are on that, you're still
Hmm.
going somewhere.
I've even had somebody put it to me this way, that there might be a day where all you can do is get out of bed and take a shower and celebrate that.
There are days you're not going to get that shower or get out of bed, and just celebrate that you drink some water. Maybe
Hmm. Yep.
there are just I've had those days where it's like, nope, someone better bring me food if they want me to eat it. It's not happening today.
There you go.
So it's
All
like
right.
I've been there, celebrate drinking the water, eating the food, taking the shower. Those things that a lot of people take for granted.
Hmm.
I think 'cause a shower is one of the hardest things for me when my mental health is not good.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get that. Yeah. All right. Well, Stefanie, thank you so much for giving your time tonight. I
Oh,
just
my
enjoyed
pleasure.
the,
My pleasure.
yeah, real
Yeah, I
fun
was just gonna say it's been
conversation.
great.
Yeah.
We keep doing that.
uh, yeah. Well, real quick, what's coming up next for you? I know your book has just come out. It sounds like you're working on book two.
I
What's down the
am.
road for you?
Right now, I have a short story for coming out in an anthology, which is being put out by On the Wings for Writers. I know the submission forms are still open, so I think that's coming out at the end of the year, but it is for charity. I don't
Hmm.
remember the charity it's for right now. I don't have all the details, but I do know it's an anthology for charity by On the Wings for Writers. And
Okay.
otherwise, like you said, book two. Definitely working on that. I've got a lot. I already had a decent chunk written right after I finished book one, but I'm going through and going, let's start somewhere else. So
Hmm.
all the little things.
Yeah. Yeah. And it'll be your first book too, right?
It'll be my first book too. I've had three book ones, two of them that obviously never got published. So
Hmm.
it's kind of exciting to be like, oh wow, that's new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, After
Yeah.
having this goal for the past so many years and having my mental health be the thing that was mostly holding me back, it's interesting to sit here and think, okay, I finished one book, now I have to finish two and three, and I have to finish a series now. It's very different.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to you in the future, and I hope we get lots
So,
of good, more wonderful stories from you. Are you on? Do you have a website? Are you online somewhere? If people want to check
my
you out,
website's
or
under construction. I am on Instagram and Facebook at Stefanie Santone. My name is spelled not correctly, so 'cause my dad didn't know how to spell, so it's an F instead of a PH. What can I say?
that's all right.
Like I said, my dad didn't know how to spell, so it's not my.
Right, right. Blame your dad. That's okay.
That's what I'm gonna do.
That's right. You couldn't add your own 2 cents worth at the time, I'm sure. So,
I couldn't. All I was doing was screaming, apparently.
right. Yeah, yeah. What's that all about? It's really great talking to you. Thank you so much again for coming on the podcast. Uh,
Anytime, Art. Anytime.
and for those of you who need a good book to read, go check out her new book, Tangled Magic. It's on sale now. And I'm sure your local bookstore will be happy to order it for you if it's not there. So, Stefanie, thanks again for joining me, and you have a good night.
You too. Thank you.
All right, both Stefanie and I, we appreciate you sticking through our discussion. Before I go, there will be information in the show notes about Stefanie, where you can find her book, all the things we mentioned in the episode, books and different things I'll have listed down below, along with some ways you can help support the podcast in a financial way if you are so inclined. One of the best things you can do is to like and comment and share. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd love to have you on board. And so with that, just want to remind you to keep creating, happy reading, and take care.